a very, very interesting conspiracy theory crossed my desk Friday night that I just have to talk about it. It's interesting. I don't know what the chances of it are, but I will say this: that if it were to happen, and the reason I call it a conspiracy theory is because if it were to happen, then this is exactly what they planned to happen the entire time. This isn't something that just pops up there because we're talking about going into really strange constitutional territory. And the only way that I can see them pulling it off and doing it is if this has been, like I said, the plan from the beginning. It comes from Lieutenant Colonel James Zumwalt over at WND. We have a cross posted over at noqreport.com. The title of the article is "In a Fair Election, There Is But One Way Biden Can Win." So, I'll pull the article up here in a second, but let me just explain because I got to cut through the beginning parts, which are tell you what you already know. Basically, Lieutenant Colonel Zumwalt says Joe Biden can't win by himself. He can't win with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris couldn't win if she's inserted, or Gavin Newsom couldn't win, or whoever. Anybody they try to plug in there, maybe even Hillary Clinton, none of them could win. Then he mentions Michelle Obama, and he says she doesn't seem interested, which does seem to be the case. But again, as I've noted before, if Michelle did want to run, then she would actually, the best way to do that is to pretend like she doesn't want to run and then to be the reluctant savior. I was doing fine. I didn't want to do this, but I guess, I'm the only one that can beat Trump, they say. So I guess I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, and I still think that's a possibility. But this is an interesting theory. The theory, according to Zumwalt, is that uh, Barack Obama, sorry, I'm looking at the guy and can't figure out his name. Barack Obama could be inserted as Joe Biden's vice president. You get rid of Kamala, you insert Biden. Of course, you'd have some constitutional issues there, but as Zumwalt points out, technically speaking, if you go by the letter of the amendment, it just talks about that a president cannot be elected 3 times or more than twice. And so this would be a vice president being elected. And if he were, it doesn't say that a president couldn't serve 3 times. So again, the theory is airdrop in, get rid of Kamala, airdrop in Barack Obama as the vice president. So basically they flip flop their roles. And then shortly after they win the election, if they were to win, then Joe Biden would step down. Barack Obama would hop in there and probably pick Gretchen Whitmer or who knows. Wouldn't matter at that point because we're doomed anyway. He could pick Kermit the Frog and he would be, doesn't matter. Vice presidents to Barack Obama are meaningless, just as Joe Biden was meaningless. But anyway, so let's cut through the article. It's a good article, well written. I'm not trying to cut through, but I want to get to the chase. Let's get to the important parts. So according to the article, Michelle Obama's name has been tossed about to replace Biden, though she claims disinterest. There is only one way Joe could win, by selecting a heretofore unmentioned VP who would unify Democrats behind him. It would involve Barack Obama running as Biden's vice president. The 22nd Amendment, passed in 1951, states, and this is a quote, "No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice." The key word is elected. Thus, Obama could legally be elected vice president, paving the way for Biden to resign soon after his inauguration and for Obama to occupy the Oval Office, completing his term. A scholarly article suggests and this is a quote from the article itself, came from, looks like University of Georgia Law School. A twice before elected president may become a vice president either through appointment or through election, and, like any other vice president, may thereafter succeed to the presidency for the full remainder of the pending term. It finds that the 12th Amendment mandates no person unconstitutionally ineligible to the office of president shall be eligible to that of vice president of the United States, does not bar this. In other words, they're saying that they're going to try to say, look, it says that he's not eligible for the office, but they'll counter with, no, it says he's not eligible to be elected to the office. It does not say that, the 22nd Amendment does not say that he cannot sit in the office. So therefore, he can run and be elected as vice president. And then if Joe were to, I don't know, randomly leave, resign, retire, whatever, then Barack Obama could have his third term that he has coveted. He talked about wishing that he could have a third term way back when he was still in the middle of his second term. Anyway, Let's continue a little bit further in the article. What will be interesting, regardless of whether Biden, Harris, or both are replaced on the ticket, is that the party's justification after 35 months of promoting them as fully competent to serve, even after Biden's disastrous debate performance. Hollywood donors announced they will not be giving any money to the Democrat Party unless Biden drops out. How is it, while Biden's incompetence is discernible by Hollywood's elites, Harris and the majority of Biden's cabinet do not see it, failing to remove him from office under Section 4 of the 25th Amendment? And that lends to my theory that this is something that has been pre-planned. And I don't know if it's been pre-planned for a week, a month, a year, 4 years, 8 years. Who knows? I mean, really, seriously, who knows? But it does make sense if this were a long-term play. And when I say makes sense, I'm talking about from the global elite cabal's perspective. They've, once Barack Obama was selected to be the nominee, remember they had that big meeting. You may not remember, but they had the big meeting back in 2008. They called in Barack Obama. They called in Hillary Clinton. Secret meeting. And next thing you know, Hillary's kind of like, okay, I guess I'm out. And they were like, okay, don't worry, you'll hop in there in 2016. You've got time. And then the unthinkable, at least from their perspective, happened, and President Trump whooped their butts. So then they're like, okay, we got to regroup and let's turn lemons into lemonade. Let's get Joe Biden in there, which they did push very, very hard, if you recall, to make sure that neither Bernie Sanders nor anybody else would be able to beat him, and for the nomination. And then he got it. And then, of course, they did what they did to put him in the Oval Office, where he has been on a destructive tear for the United States of America ever since. If this does pan out, then this is a masterful play, and they've been playing us for a long time. I would argue that this may have been the plan from the beginning, and the quote-unquote evidence, the circumstantial, the speculation, not even evidence, the speculation is that why else would they put Kamala Harris in there? I mean, if you could pick somebody who they knew could just totally not be likable enough to encourage people to want to replace Biden with her, that would be Kamala Harris, okay? I mean, she makes Hillary Clinton seem sort of almost... Okay, so she doesn't really make Hillary Clinton seem likable, but Hillary Clinton is about as likable, or Kamala Harris is about as likable as Hillary Clinton. Anyway, I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Again, crazy idea. Almost certainly not true. Well, I'll give it a 4% chance, which is why, again, if it does turn out to be true, then I would say this is a conspiracy that has been in the works for a long, long time. Our wildly successful 4th of July sale was just, it was a wild success. I think I already mentioned that. It was so successful that we are extending it ever so slightly. I'm not sure when I'm going to turn it off. I will turn off this once in a lifetime discount soon. But for now, if you go to Spreely Beef, SPREELY beef, you know how to spell beef, SpreelyBeef.com, and use promo code FREEDOM35, that's one word, FREEDOM35, you will get 35% off. And anybody who's seen my show, you know that generally we do 10%, 15%, maybe 25%. 35% off, limited time, SpreelyBeef.com, promo code FREEDOM35.